Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Before we start with today's episode, I just wanted to inform you guys that I have a new channel called Sean David TV, which is going to be a little bit different. You will still find NBA stuff, so NBA podcasts with me and former NBA players, me answering NBA questions and reactions, but also we're going to talk about 80s and 90s movies. So if you want to check out that channel, you will find the link underneath the video. I would really appreciate it if you check it out and subscribe to the new channel. Having said that, in today's episode, I'm going to look at NBA stars and NBA legends getting kind of embarrassed and owned by bench players. And just to be clear, I didn't choose the most obvious one, but I was digging a little bit deeper to find some that you might didn't know. Okay, let's start. The first one that I want to talk about is Kenny Smith versus Dana Barros. Yes, there was a time when Kenny Smith was actually considered a star guard in the league. He was averaging like 17 points and 7 with the Houston Rockets. Dana Barros, on the other hand, was a different case. While Kenny Smith was enjoying success with the Houston Rockets alongside Hakeem Olajuwon, Dana Barros had to sit on the bench for the Seattle Supersonics for many years. Then in the year 1993, finally with the Philadelphia 76ers, he received some minutes. But if there was one thing that always stayed the same, it was when Dana Barros saw Kenny Smith, for whatever reason, he always put up great numbers. The best example would be the 14th of March in 1995 when Dana Barros dropped 50 points and a lot of them on Kenny Smith.
It's amazing because you take a look at Clarence Weatherspoon as Dana Barros hits a three, but Clarence Weatherspoon is one of the best in the league that makes his teammates better basketball players. Everything that Dana's throwing up tonight is going in.
Barros by Smith for two. Barros, the pick from Bradley, Dana for two, and Barros is hot here in the first.
There's one more than they had last night when they got up 23 shots, but Dana Barros trying to stay with it.
Barros in rhythm.
Salaries to try to get that thing even with Court. Barros,
Yes! Dana Barros with 40. One away from his career high.
3-on-2.
Dana for the career high, yes! And he did it, as you would love him to, with a three-pointer. There they go, Barros for 50, yes!
That's why John Lucas called that timeout. You called it, Mark. Give Dana Barros a three.
As you can see, Kenny was even giving props to Dana for that game. And even until today, it seems like Kenny never forgot about Dana Barros, which you can see in several interviews.
I used to like playing against little guards because I say it's like shooting over a chair. I used to say, oh, I'm going to get all my jumpers off today. And this, and he was a good player, but Dana Barros, he just got rolling for some reason when he saw my face. The best part about it is when Sam Cassell came to the team, he didn't know I had trouble with Dana Barros. So first 2 or 3 plays, he get rolling. Boom, boom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get these 2 fouls. Right. It's not coming in. So then Sam, so soon, oh, foul shaving. We up. I'm like, I'm not getting the business.
And the next one on my list is Shaquille O'Neal versus Big Country Reeves. I mean, we all know that Shaquille O'Neal is one of the most dominant players who ever played in the NBA and definitely one of the best centers who ever played in the NBA. But who was Big Country Reeves? Bryant Reeves, aka Big Country, was the 6th pick of the 1995 NBA draft, selected by the Vancouver Grizzlies, who at that time were still a very brand new franchise. He was supposed to lead that franchise to the promised land, but unfortunately it never came to that. Even though he showed some promises in his rookie season, averaging 13 points and 7 boards, he was never able to reach his full potential and only played 6 seasons in the NBA. But I want to add that he got hurt, and therefore it wasn't his fault that he didn't become the player that he was supposed to be. But on the bright side, whenever he played against Shaquille O'Neal, for whatever reason, he made Shaquille O'Neal look very bad.
If you had to narrow it down to just one,
Big Country.
Big country. Why?
Because you know, guards that don't play defense, they always tell bigs to show. So I would show, and Big Country be 15 feet away, and I would have to rotate back. And he had the ugliest Duckworth one-hand jumper. He shoot it and always go in. And so halftime, I'm looking at the stats. Shaq 15, Big Country 26. I'm like,
Now the next one that I want to talk about is for the real old school fans. Orlando Woolridge versus Charles Smith. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys haven't heard of either of them, but Orlando Woolridge at some point was one of the best players in the league. Actually, he was the best player on the Chicago Bulls before Michael Jordan arrived.
5-point Atlanta lead. Steve Johnson tiptoeing the sideline. Woolridge driving. There's a slammer. That goes on the highlight reel.
Like the wind blowing off Chicago's Lake Michigan, Bulls forward Orlando Woolridge is storming through the NBA with rolling thunder. His ominous slam dunks have terrified opponents, fearful of any clear path number 0 has to the basket.
In the year 1984, when Michael Jordan arrived, Orlando Woolridge still dropped 23 points per game and was one of the best scorers in the entire league. He was able to stay at that level for many years, but it even peaked in the year 1990 when he was playing with the Denver Nuggets, averaging 25 points and almost 7 rebounds a game. The same season, Charles Smith was playing for the Los Angeles Clippers, sometimes starting, but most of the times coming off the bench. Smith was never considered to be an offensive weapon, but that one special night he was destroying Orlando Woolridge on the court.
All the way on the right side, Charles Smith with 20. Woolridge down the lane, goes up, Smith blocks his shot. Smith gets the loose ball. Smith has a breakaway. He jams it. Feed 60 Clippers, long feed to Grant, beat Jackson, couldn't hold the ball. Smith gets it, lays it in. To Grant. Grant inside to Smith, beats Woolridge again and lays it in. Easy. Gordon to Garland, back to Grant at the top, 3-point range, inside to Smith. Takes Wolf down low, scores, career high 41 for Charles Smith. That's ball down low for Smith, a loose, Cook scores on the layup. Woolridge way on the right side. Woolridge has 5 and 24 in the fourth. Back comes Smith, scores. Woolridge hustling to try to get back, picks up the foul.
Not too long ago, in the year 2015, I found an interview of former Bulls legend Horace Grant on Hot 97, where he was talking about a player who was giving Michael Jordan the business. And the guy's name was LaBradford Smith. I was wondering, why haven't I heard about this guy? And after digging and researching, I know now why. But okay, let's hear the interview first.
A kid named LaBradford Smith used to play with the Bullets, Wizard. He had 38 points on MJ. And we had to play him the next night. MJ didn't talk to anybody, walking off the court, and everybody was saying, oh, this is the next MJ.
And the next example that I want to talk about is Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate, versus Tony Delk. Even though Jason Williams was never an all-star, I still would consider him to be one of the better point guards and definitely a fan favorite. On the other side, we have Tony Delk, a player that had a long NBA career, but not even one season was considered to be a starter. He had a career average of 9 points and 2 assists. So we're not talking about a player that is known for his scoring outbursts. But unfortunately for Jason Williams, when those two were playing against each other, Tony Delk literally caught fire.
And there's the former King, Tony Delk. 8th start now as a counterpart to Jason Kidd in the backcourt. Oh, man. Tony Delk with a career high 28. Delk.
So it's Tony Delk. I think maybe the Kings could try a different strategy on Delk. Don't guard him, just slip out of his hands.
Delk. Well, this is the Tony Delk show thus far.
Alright, now we're getting to the last one, and I really gotta say I love it when NBA stars admit that they had trouble with bench players, role players, or whatever. So the next one is Chris Webber and Marty Conlon, a role player that averaged 6 points in his entire career, but apparently gave Chris Webber a hard time.
I gotta go with Marty Conlon.
Oh, Marty Conlon.
His jump shot was so ugly that I made up the rule. And I'm talking stuff in practice. If anybody go for his pump fake, it's a $100 fine. I went for every pump fake. I mean, he gave me about 25, and I just remember just being there like, I know his game. He can't get by me, and he just, every time. He gave me the business many times, Marty. He was the man.
All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to check out my other channel, Sean David TV. You will find the link underneath the video, and I hope to see you next time. Peace. I'm out.